Welcome, dear brothers, to those who follow the work of this team daily, and to those who join now. Today we want to talk about the information that heaven gave to the head of the church about the tribulations that would come to the world, and also to the church, and how they should be fought. At the beginning of this century, Juan Pablo Seggi received that information from an instrument of the Virgin Mary. However those tribulations came, they're the ones we see now, and there are still others that have yet to come. They came because there was no possible way to stop them, or because the head of the church did not believe enough in those revelations, and that is why he could not stop them, or perhaps because the church was so infiltrated and its faithful in such apostasy that nothing worked. Here we want to talk about the information that Our Lady sent to the Pope about the tribulations that we are experiencing today, what she told him would happen in the coming years, and how it should be solved, and how today we can prevent those that are to come. First of all, we want to remind you to subscribe to this channel by activating the bell and to our newsletter. And on screen you will see how to collaborate with our mission on Patreon and also on YouTube, so that this Catholic team of the Americas can continue financing its research that you will not find on any other channel. Now, in the year 2003, Our Lady appeared to the German visionary Manuela Stck and told her. He gave a secret through 3 keys to reveal himself, or John Paul I met with Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger on February 10th, 2004, and the next day with a very deteriorated John Paul II, and gave him the secret that the Virgin had entrusted to him, and on October 30th, 2021, Manuela received permission from heaven to reveal the main thing that was in the secret of the vision of the 3 keys. The keys represent the tribulations that would come in the coming years and how they would be resolved. Our Lady put her in Manuela's right hand, held a red key, and she saw something like a movie pass quickly in front of her. She saw hell, a very dark and cold abyss, and her master Satan, and then the vision turned to earth. She saw groups in different places organized and carried out various attacks in all parts of the world, and began a terrible persecution of Christians, saw the Christians of the East, and also saw more and more unrest on earth. A brief reign of terror soon reigned, because what was in hell had been unleashed in all its power on earth. Civil wars occurred in almost every country, and there were severe natural disasters because man abused God's creation. The earth trembled as a result of sin. Strong storms hit the earth, and the power of mammon, that is, the devil, supported the rulers. A wave of violence spread throughout the world, and something fell from the sky. Then he gave him another key, and he saw Rome attacked and St. Peter's Basilica assaulted. The new pope would have to go to the clandestinity. The Church of Christ, the Catholic Church, was persecuted in a hidden way at first, then insidiously, and then officially, and there was a church that seemed to be the Catholic, but was ineffective because it was not the Church of Christ, and that is why the priests who followed the precepts of God would have to suffer much, and even the Eucharist would be in danger. And finally, when she gave him the other key, Our Lady showed him how she protected her children, and that the Marian priests and the sons of Mary not only saved the Church of Christ, but they saved the world with a great sacrifice. And a decade after Manuela Strack's vision in 2015, the Virgin Mary gave the Brazilian visionary Edson Glauber a vision of what was happening on earth and in the Church. Our Lady appeared with the baby Jesus in her arms with a rosary that shone brightly. On her right side was St. Peter with a key that represents his power in the Church of Christ. During the apparition, The baby Jesus asked St. Peter to return the keys, and he obeyed. After returning the keys, St. Peter knelt with his head bowed in prayer, and the place where he was went dark. At that moment, the globe that was under them was surrounded by a large crown of thorns, representing the difficult times that the church and the world will have to go through, times of persecution, spiritual darkness, and great confusion. Then the Virgin, seeing what was happening, lowered her right hand towards the globe, and her rosary slowly went around the globe. Each time the rosary moved, it radiated a stronger light, and the crown of thorns was repelled from the globe, leaving it destroyed. Only the rosary remained as a sign of victory over evil and difficult times. The Virgin, looking at her divine Son, prayed for the church and for the world. Then the child Jesus, seeing that humanity began to pray, agreed to the request of his most holy mother and returned the keys to St. Peter. The child Jesus put the keys in the hands of Our Lady, and she, as Mother of the Church, put them in those of St. Peter. A quarter of a century ago, the Virgin sent word to the Pope through Manuel Estrac that the tribe would bring about the persecution of Catholics and apostasy at the head of the Church. The key that Jesus asked St. Peter for means that there would be an abandonment of Jesus' directives in the Church caused by a demonic attack, but she would intervene, protecting her children and promoting the Marian clergy. Then the Church would do penance and return to its correct path, and Jesus would return the keys to St. Peter through the intercession of Mary. The Rosary would be the fundamental instrument in this process. In 192, Our Lady said that Jesus, in his divine conflict decree, said Satan uses again in Ellis the chain with which she is going to bind the great dragon is formed by the Holy Rosary. She said each rosary weakens more and more the force of his diabolical power. Each well-prayed rosary deals a powerful blow to the power of evil, and a part of his kingdom is destroyed. In the end, the result is to make Satan completely harmless. His great power will be destroyed, and the evil spirits will be thrown into the pond of fire and brimstone, and its door will be closed by the key of the power of Jesus Christ. This is why Sister Lucia of Fatima affirmed that God had given a new power to the Rosary, so great that she said there is no national or international material or spiritual problem that cannot be resolved with the Holy Rosary and our sacrifices. This is the information that SEG received at the beginning of the century about what was coming and is already happening, and how we can stop it by praying the Holy Rosary massively. If you liked what we told you, please like this video and share it with your friends. Leave us your comment on what you think about the subject. Do you think that most Catholics pray the Rosary daily?